All right. Hello, ETHDenver hackers. How you guys doing? My name is Bishard, and this talk is for everyone from hackers, engineers, product managers, designers, CEOs, investors, average users, smart contract developers, creators, basically anyone who's building a product in Web3. There's something in this talk for everyone, but it's mostly geared towards developers building the next Web3 products, and that's you guys, the builders. Although I am from Consensus and MetaMask, this talk is not specifically or just about us. This talk is about Web3, making it better, and the concepts, tools, and technologies you'll need to know about to make Web3 a great onboarding experience for the average users, not just the seasoned Web3 folks. So I am HTTP Junkie on Twitter. Again, my name is Bishard, and I'm HTTP Junkie on Twitter, Telegram, Warpcast. I currently work at Consensus as a DevRel supporting the MetaMask SDK and API, but we also work with all the various Consensus products. You'll see us out of the booths. You'll see us at the main event. The DevRels will have these nice pink shirts on. If not, I'll also have some pictures of some of our DevRels in the slides. Yeah, so in 2021, I was a Node.js DevRel at Couchbase. And when given the opportunity to host an Ethereum conference in Dubai, my boss would not let me do so. So that's why I left Couchbase. That was part of the great purge of the, when there was the mass exodus of, I guess, Web 2 over to Web 3. And yeah, so I picked up the telephone, dialed the 7 digits, and said, "Hey, Couchbase, what's up?" I quit because they wouldn't let me explore blockchain. Yeah. So before that, before Consensus and Couchbase, I was working with SolarCity, Tesla, and Progress Software in Web 2. So I've been an applications engineer for Tesla and SolarCity, and then I've also been a React developer advocate and a Node.js developer advocate for past 6 years. Yeah, so from 2015 to 2019, kind of finishing up my Web 2 career, and then getting into Web 3 with Consensus, and I've been here ever since. So what do I think? Well, I think Web 3 will continue to grow, reach more and more people all over the world, and that's why I'm passionate about iterating developer experience and striving for a better UX in Web 3. Some of the things that we'll talk about today, what is user experience? What's developer experience? How might developer experience influence user experience in Web 3? We'll talk about some of the EIPs that help to iterate developer experience in UX in Web 3 in 2024, and also some of the products, and then some closing thoughts. So I'm old, so when I think of user experience, I don't think just about a UX designer. I think about the overall experience that a user has with a product, be it a tangible or a digital good. In my honest opinion, user experience is everything that touches upon your user's experience within your product, period. So the holistic experience, everything from how the developer relations team talks about it, how your documentation works, tutorials, everything is part of, well, that's part of developer experience, but kind of everything that happens on your product is kind of the user experience. So you need to be kind of clued into everything. Start small, iterate, and really create a great experience overall. Another great resource that I wanted to talk about that has some overlap with this talk, but it's one of the most important talks that I've seen, and it digs a little bit deeper into product design. So I'm going to periodically have some of these screens where there is a tiny URL at the bottom, and I'll try to leave the screen up for a minute so people have the opportunity to take a picture of those. But also remember that this is streaming out on YouTube and X. So if you want to go check the talk out and see some of these URLs later, there should be no problem. The talk is recorded. So on the right here, we're looking at Uniswap's Connect wallet experience. And the thing that's great about this, and one of the EIPs that we're going to talk about is EIP 6963. So it noticed that I had MetaMask Flask installed. That's our developer version of MetaMask. But if I were to also have like another version of MetaMask and Flask both installed, it seems that Uniswap is using EIP 6963 already, so it would have both of those wallets listed, as well as some of the wallets that they might also put into their menu. But let's say that I also had Rabby Wallet. I had Rabby Wallet and MetaMask Flask both installed before EIP 6963. You might click on MetaMask and actually get taken to another wallet that identifies as MetaMask. So it's a great thing, kind of EIP 6963, we'll talk more about that. But user experience is everything from usability, how easy it is to use or onboard new users to your web or mobile product, performance, what's the time to first render and loading states, how quickly data is fetched, or how long transactions take, and how to keep your user engaged during those periods of load. It's also how you explain your product. Part of the user experience is the nomenclature that you use in your website. Try to make it to where people that aren't super experienced in Web3 don't feel alienated when they visit your product. It's also about how users interact with your product and accessibility. Like, we're in Web3, some of the experiences are kind of bad, but we have to remember all of the accessibility tools that we use in Web 2, and we shouldn't forget those. Uniswap, it just works. It's great. Here you can see one of the other screens in Uniswap. This is like the settings. And they've gone the extra mile to ensure people from all over the globe can use this interface in their language of choice in their currency. But more importantly, Uniswap is great because everyone from back-end, front-end, smart contract, UX designers, everyone on their team, PMs, everyone was in lockstep creating this amazing product. And one thing I'd like to know, if you guys want to stop by and see me, is if you have another Web3 experience that you think is a great user experience. I use Uniswap because it's been around for a long time, and it's always been kind of, I think, an example of kind of like a shining Web3 good user experience. So another point I want to make about UX is it's not practical to outsource your UX design and not have those UX designers know what tools and technologies and frameworks that the web developers are using. What UI frameworks, what CSS frameworks, all of that. Your product designers and your UX designers should kind of be working with the developers to ensure that the product that ends up being built is similar to what that designer had in mind. If your devs use React, Tailwind, or certain UI libraries, the UX designer needs to know about that and needs to design for those tools. This is obvious, but it suggests that if you don't know your target audience, if you don't know your users and what they want, and you don't do the testing, research, studies, interviews, and receive feedback from your users, you won't be able to build a product that is great for your users. So yeah, product teams and engineers need to build things that people want, and you can only do that by having a close relationship with those users and getting that feedback constantly and iterating your product. So some final thoughts on UX as you start to build your project here at ETHDenver, as you start to hack. Some final thoughts about kind of UX is just to start small, iterate, figure out what you want to kind of create as a user experience for your users, and build that stuff first. Make sure it's functional, and again, only move on once you've kind of really nailed down that user experience and that flow and those small amount of components first, and then only kind of continue and get information from your users as what kind of features you should add next. So what is developer experience? It's a little bit different than user experience. So it's from your docs, your tutorials, your articles, your workshops, and presentations, even the presentations that I give about our products at MetaMask. That's part of the developer experience. It's the actual experience a developer has when building with your tools. MetaMask comes to hackathons to put new products in front of nice and understanding hackers, knowing that our products are kind of new, they might have some bugs in them, but we get that feedback and it helps to shape the product and helps us to iterate our developer experience. One of the first things that our developers did at our developer relations team did at MetaMask was work directly with the MetaMask team to ensure that we could recreate all of our docs and put a new version of the docs out there that continued to iterate that developer experience. So here is what a front and center. So we're going to go through some of the different. So this is DX. On the right here, we have wagm. The point I'm trying to make here is that this is a good, wagm has good developer experience in their docs. They have a get started, they have a why wagm, they have a GitHub link, they have what developers need, what are the React hooks that they provide, what are the TypeScript support that they provide, what wallets do they connect to, information about other products that's used to create wagm, like VM. And then a long list over there of kind of things that I think are just very super important that you should kind of have nailed down as part of developer experience. And there's a lot of it. It takes a lot of time to do that. So if you're building a product or a service, you should keep these things in mind. So how does DX influence UX in Web3? So the onus is on us as the developers of a product to know how to use these developer tools and when to use out-of-the-box features versus customized and more specific technology to enhance the user experience. If you have a good developer experience, the developers who use your products should in turn be able to create a good a user experience for their users. You need subject matter experts and highly qualified software engineers to build your product. A lot of Web3 sites that we see out there look a lot like MVPs, and they should take this into consideration. And you know, using products, providing good developer experience makes it easier to create good UX. If you kind of follow that, if you create a good developer experience around your products, those developers should then in turn be able to go and create awesome Web3 experiences. Some products and features. So this is kind of what I wanted to get to. And we're going to go through these pretty quickly, but we're going to talk about some of the EIPs and some of the different products out there. We'll talk about a few of MetaMask products, but we're also going to talk, I'm going to kind of step away from that a little bit too and also look at the ecosystem and talk about some EIPs and products that I think are really good and have good DX and UX out there. So first, EIP 6963. There's a tiny URL at the bottom here. When I was learning EIP 6963 and how it helps developer experience and how I can help to connect to wallets, I didn't have a good resource out there, so I wrote the resource that I would have liked to have down here. So EIP 6963 is the multi-injected provider discovery proposal. It introduces a different approach for discovering and interacting with providers. So in contrast to the existing window.ethereum object. The best way to think of it is if I have several different wallets installed in my browser, then whatever product that I'm using, whether it's wagm or Web3 modal or Web3 onboard, these products should be able to detect those different wallets and be able to connect to them correctly. And that's kind of what EIP 6963 does. And I'm super excited about developers being able to have this technology and build it into their applications. And credit where credit is due, Wallet Connect and Web3 Modal were the first ones as a library to implement EIP 6963. Since then, we have wagm. The MetaMask SDK kind of integrates with wagm. But you can also do it as yourself as a developer. You can, I have a demo down here in this article that can show you how to do that from scratch on your own. Next one, EIP 4337, account abstraction. So account abstraction is set to revolutionize the way we perceive and interact with wallets, making gasless transactions the standard and secure social logins the new, it makes social secure logins the new norm, fundamentally reshaping the Ethereum user experience. Again, tinyurl.com down here. I can't spend a lot of time talking about this. I only got 6 minutes left, but I think this is one of the better talks out there about account abstraction. It's a little bit old, but it's a good primer on what account abstraction is and what you need to know as a developer to kind of get started using it and how to think about it. CookbookDeev. So as hackers here at ETHDenver, you might have interacted with a guy named Tyler out there. He's one of the mentors. And CookbookDeev is doing a lot for developer relations and developer experience in the Web3 space. Cookbook lets you find any smart contract, protocol, and library, and you can access chain, quick starts, and fine-tuned AI chatbots to explain unfamiliar concepts. In Web3, developer resources are often scattered. Builders need to learn many different technologies and many docs to build a good dApp. So Cookbook aggregates all this information and these resources and makes the learning process a lot easier. Also, he built a chatbot for the, it's kind of an unofficial chatbot for the ETHDenver hackathon, but it's great, and it answers the questions for hackers so that he can kind of offload some of the work that he's doing, and help more hackers and give them access to that chatbot. And I just think that CookbookDeev is doing a lot for developer experience and developer relations in 2024. So check them out, CookbookDeev. This is a little bit of a, I can't fit too many screenshots on here, but go check out CookbookDeev, and I think it's a really great resource to start to learn the ecosystem and all the different tools. Gelato Networks, I'm just pointing out like really good user experiences out there, and they have a great developer experience also. So as a developer, you want to be able to kind of rely on automation and reliable infrastructure so developers can focus more on building innovative features rather than managing repetitive tasks or their own custom infrastructure. Enhanced user interaction by automating smart contract executions. It provides users with a smoother and more seamless experience. Go check out Gelato Network. If you haven't used it before, it's like the backend for Web3. I don't know, AWS for Web3. Horrible, probably, analogy, but here's some of the different services that they offer, and I think they're doing a really great job as well. MetaMask Snap. So we're going to get into a few of the things that we have that we're trying to do to make a better developer experience in 2024. And one is MetaMask Snaps. We launched this back in September. Through interoperability, MetaMask Snaps can expand the wallet's functionality. Think of Snaps kind of as plugins for MetaMask, kind of as a plugin for Chrome, or extension for Chrome is to Chrome. Snaps kind of are for MetaMask. It allows you to extend the MetaMask API, catering to users engaging with non-EVM chains. You can manage your Bitcoin in a MetaMask wallet in a secure manner. Through security, Snaps implements measures such as checking receipt addresses against known phishing databases and simulating transactions to determine their potential outcomes, and basically just ensuring that users have a clear picture before confirming any transaction. That's just a few of the things that MetaMask Snaps does. And here's some of the team that we'll have here at ETHDenver. Ziad Saab is our developer relations guy for MetaMask Snaps. Christian Montoya also. And then Francesco, you'll see all these guys either at the booth down here or at the main event at our MetaMask and Linea booth. Also, Ziad's going to be, he's going to be DJing, I think, in the chill room. They turned me down, but whatever. He's going to be there. It's going to be great. So go check him out there, too. Finally, the MetaMask SDK. So the MetaMask SDK is a library that provides reliable, secure, and seamless connection from your dApp to not only the MetaMask browser extension, but also gives your user the option of connecting to MetaMask Mobile. Also with mobile and Unity games, you can connect directly to or through a QR code to MetaMask Mobile. And by integrating the SDK into your dApp, millions of MetaMask Mobile users can connect to their preferred MetaMask client. And again, on web, they can connect to the extension. So this is just a little bit of a screenshot here. When someone clicks on the MetaMask button, if you have the SDK installed, they have the option of clicking on desktop or mobile. And if they click on mobile from the web, you can scan this QR code with your phone. It'll connect seamlessly, and kind of you'll be able to approve all the transactions right through your phone. Also, we're working with like the MetaMask Portfolio team to make SDK better. So they are testing it out. They haven't launched it yet, but kind of they're putting it through all the paces, and they have a huge laundry list of all the things that we need to do to make it a better user experience. So working great with them, but if you haven't checked out MetaMask Portfolio, check that out. You can do swaps, you can do bridging, staking, all that. That's it. Thank you. My name is Eric Bishard, HTTP Junkie on Twitter, Telegram, Warpcast, everything. And good luck building here at ETHDenver. Thanks a lot, everyone.